Hello, Internet. I'm HamsterBomb.
And I'm Zach.
And this is HITBOX. This is the gaming podcast where we talk about whatever we feel like talking about in the gaming world. This is our show. We make the rules, and the rules right now, we feel like just going on with more games in every single year ever.
In perpetuity.
Yeah, and when do we run out of games? Or run out of years? What are we going to do?
It's
do it all again?
It's New Game Plus. We talk about other
New
games.
Game Plus, the games that we didn't talk about? Maybe. But anyway, we just hit 1990, and this is a really, another really big year. I'd say an exciting year for games since, 85 was a huge year for a lot of games, and that's kind of what we determined our starting point. I think this is the next big jump, because a certain console was just released sort of this year, and it's going to really start doing some crazy stuff, at least in the next coming years. And that console is the Super Famicom. So that's the Super Nintendo in Japan. It's technically not going to release in the United States for a year, but still, we gotta talk about it because it did come out in 1990 in Japan, which is when we actually got the release of several games we were going to be showcasing on that, but we try to showcase all the things that come out in this year that we think are noteworthy. We try and narrow it down to at least 10 games, by the way, just so you know our process, because we do miss a lot of games sometimes. We'll go through our lists and sometimes go, oh, I can't believe we missed this huge game we never even talked about. That happens, and so we're sorry about that if that does. But regardless, at least know we're trying.
There's only so much for so long that you can just stare at a list and be like,
we gotta talk about that. We gotta talk about that. And we're going through, this is a list of releases that came out on this console and this console, and you go through everything and you realize you're forgetting some. So also, if you're just listening to this or even just watching it in the background, I have the NES Classic rolling and it's doing its idle. So it's gonna be demo playing a bunch of games in the background while we check out two games that I'm not going to be able to play with you guys. So we're going to take care of those first. Typically, we put these in the middle because I had, a chunk of games we couldn't play. This time it's only two, but they're both really important, and I think we should talk about them. Because another thing that helps us determine what games to talk about is if, say, for example, if 6 really big RPGs come out in one year, we're probably going to only talk about 2 or 3, because we got to leave room for the other genres, because there's a bunch of stuff coming out. And it's not like the earlier years where we have breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
Now we're getting some bangers one after another, and we gotta get picky. So this is a big game. You might have not heard of, is it Maniac Mansion?
Yes.
Okay, not Manic Mansion. I get the names screwed up in my head a lot. It's the alliteration that does it to me.
Yep.
But in that same style of a point-and-click adventure game, you probably haven't heard of that one. Or maybe you have. But this is more than likely one you have heard of. This is a really big deal. I have unfortunately not gotten the chance to play this game myself, but I do know a lot about it. Have you gotten to play this one?
I beat it.
Awesome!
Yes.
How about you tell us a little bit about The Secret of Monkey Island. Super Nintendo's coming out. It's supering everything that I say.
And if they made a Super Nintendo port of that would have been interesting.
That would have been... How would it have worked?
I don't think it would have.
I don't think... Yeah.
But regardless.
Yeah.
So, The Secret of Monkey Island is from LucasArts, and this is just after them making, again, Maniac Mansion. And it's basically the game I think about when I think of a LucasArts point-and-click adventure game. You play as Guybrush Threepwood, who nobody gets his name right. And throughout the whole game, that's the whole point.
It's a comedy. It's a really funny game.
Yes. And your whole goal is to become the best dang pirate in the Caribbean.
Yes.
And that's it.
Basically, one thing that I really, really love about this is how its combat works. So, effectively, and I got a decent screenshot here, effectively the game works with insult sword fighting is what they call it.
Yep.
And you have to... you kind of automatically fight from one side or another, and it's kind of like a tug of war, reverse tug of war.
Yeah, it's a battle of wits. It's very much the Princess Bride.
Yes.
In fact, it's more than a match of steel against steel. It's a match of who can insult the other person better.
Yes,
and can turn it about.
You need to take what they say and find the best comeback for their quip.
Yep.
And that's how you fight. And then, the more you fight, the more insults you learn, and that's how you progress through the game.
Yep.
And I especially love that the end, your final encounter, they have totally different insults, and you need to figure out how to use your repertoire of insults in a new way that puts them in their place in a way you haven't done before.
Right,
That's genius.
Right. No, and it's a hysterical game throughout, and it's one where you can't die. Well, okay, no, I lied. There is one way to die, but it takes 15 minutes to do.
Oh my god.
There's a section where Guybrush is held underwater by an anchor tied to his legs because of the bad guy.
And if you
just stay there, he's like, man, it's a good thing I learned how to hold my breath for 15 minutes while down here. And if you just let him sit, he'll die. That's the only way you can die in this whole game.
That's brilliant.
And that's one of the things that I love about this. It takes death and, just completely removes it from the adventure game space.
Yeah.
And makes a better game, I think, for it.
Yeah, I really think this is a lost genre, and this might have been, unfortunately, like the big final success. Now, there's some examples that you might say, you could argue that like Phoenix Wright might fall into this category. I don't really think so.
That's more visual novel.
Yeah, it's more, I mean, you got those detective segments is what I'm thinking of. It's like the point and click, sort of, kind of.
Like, we still get some adventure games, but they're more indie. They're not as big as they used to be.
Nothing on this kind of level, and it really is kind of a dead genre, which is kind of sad because this is really funny and it's great.
So good.
There's so much you can do with it. Also, this got remade.
Yep.
I don't know what year it was, but you can get it on Steam.
2009.
Okay, yeah.
This and its
they redid. Yeah, and you can like play with the new graphics and music, or revert it and play with the originals.
Yep.
Awesome. It's basically like the definitive way to play it. If you allow someone to play the original as well as like the spruced up, nice looking version, so check it out. Awesome game.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, another game we want to talk about before we get into the stuff that I can actually play for real live with you guys, is the background is playing Punch-Out. Is
appropriate.
Yeah, I want to make sure I'm pronouncing these correctly. This is a series that's still going on today, and I still can't say this right. Yes, wise.
It's
the letter Y is yes.
Wise.
Yes. Wise.
What you guys doing?
What you doing? Yes. Actually, that is the way you're supposed to say it. Yes. What were they thinking? Anyway, don't answer that. So instead, this is a TurboGrafx game?
Yeah, so these are a series of action playing games.
We're actually going to be looking at, sorry, this is Ys Book 1 and 2.
Yep, this was originally released on the TurboGrafx CD. This is the first... Well, actually, no, we got Ys 1 on the Master System, but we never did get the second game. So this is like the first time we actually got this version.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Which made it big, which really helped out with, I guess, just to make the series popular. Mm-hmm. But you play as Adol Christian, and you have been marooned on an island, and the island is in trouble. Monsters are coming out, and the only way to fight them is to bump into them. That is the combat system in these games, and it is really good. I am not lying.
Okay.
Okay. The way it works is, you still have your typical, gotta get your better equipment, better sword shields and stuff. And the way the bump mechanic works in this game is that you have to hit your enemies off center. If you hit them head on, you take a lot of damage and you get killed very easily.
Okay.
And there's also back attacks, like if the sprite is facing away from you, you deal a lot more damage, or if you're coming from the side.
Okay.
The first game is very basic insofar as that's the only way to fight enemies, where the second game added magic. So you can actually fight more from a distance if you want. The story in these is really good, and the reason I wanted to bring this up is because the TurboGrafx CD had just come out around this time in North America, and it was the first CD based add-on for any console at the time, and NEC really wanted to put it out, with a bang, and so this has voice acting, it has anime cutscenes. Thomas Hayden Church, a very popular, well, I think he's a popular actor. He actually plays one of the villains in these games, which is really cool.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like, it's a lot of firsts, and
sounds like it.
Yeah, the games are a little bit older, but we wouldn't get the second one until this release.
Right.
And again, it's a series that continues today. We just got the 9th installment recently, Monstrum Nox, which I need to sit down and play. I need to still get through Ys 8, but that's something else entirely. But yeah. It's really fun. I would say it's very easy to get a hold of if you have a PSP, PC, especially PC, because these games have been remade and ported so many times that it's not even funny.
Yeah, I'm actually seeing a screenshot down here of a nicely done remake of some of the art, so yeah, I'm sure there's plenty. What I'm finding from what you're saying to be the most interesting is that bump mechanic, because that is something that a lot of RPGs will kind of steal. And, I mean, for the better. I think that's a great idea. Like, especially, just RPGs like Persona, you want to approach something from behind, or if you're running away and something gets you from behind, they get the advantage.
Yep.
I mean, it affects just regular RPG turn-based stuff, and you were just inspired off of a combat system that sounded almost like a combination of that and what we've seen in The Frog from the Bell Tolls.
Yeah.
Did we get to talk about that game yet?
Not yet. That's not until later.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. We will get there. We secretly love that game.
It's very good.
It's awesome. We're not there yet. So anyway, I can at least get rid of that, and we can play some stuff. And funny how it's messing around with this, because we will actually get to this later today.
Yeah, right.
But no, the first one that I want to play on here with you guys. Did the NES Classic come with this? No, it didn't.
No, it was another one we had to add.
That's kind of sad, but that's something we say a lot in here. That I mean, you can't add everything.
Yeah, licensing and trademark and whatnot.
I get it. I'm actually going to start it from scratch so we can see the intro here. We're going to be talking about Crystallis. An SNK RPG.
Yeah. That is something I would never think in a million years. The guys
on
who
the NES.
The guys who are known for their fighting games.
Their fighting games.
Yeah.
And we're kind of seeing a bit of the story intro going in here. I don't recall too much of this story. I have been told by a lot of people, including you, that I really need to play this, and it's just been on the backlog, because I've tried starting it a few times and keep getting stuck or lost, and other things distract me, so...
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part. It does have that old school mentality of like, oh yeah, just figure it out. Yeah, it's like, how? Just do it. Okay.
Really nice animations for the NES.
Oh yeah.
This looks spectacular.
And this game took a lot of inspiration from like a whole bunch of different sources. I think even Studio Ghibli films, Final Fantasy, and a whole bunch of other games just were a big inspiration. Like,
I'm seeing a lot of Tales of Fantasia. Oh, did I just combine two games in my head, didn't I?
Oh, Phantasy Star.
Phantasy Star.
Phantasy Star.
Where did I get Tales? That was all wrong. I'm getting enough sleep.
Who needs sleep?
All right, so
what's your name?
My name, actually now I can jump to the point where like we've seen the intro. That's what I wanted to see. So now I'm gonna jump into actual gameplay. Where was I stuck? So anyway,
you gotta blow up that wall or get rid of that wall somehow.
Yeah, somehow.
I forget how.
Exactly. So that's the thing.
Use your power to obtain something.
Yeah, use your power. I'm not sure what that entails because this is all I've gotten. Power? There's no power there.
No power there. I guess you have to go through the dungeon.
I guess I couldn't find a dungeon, but
for those who are not who are not watching but listening, this is a top-down action RPG. No, it's Zelda. You gotta swing your sword.
Yeah, but I ain't got no. Wait, I thought I had a sword.
Yeah, you do. Why don't you have it equipped?
Why don't I have equipped? Sorry, I'm being really dumb. There we go.
Now I'm using the sword.
You cannot drop. I don't want to drop it.
Sword. Get him. No. It's hard. It is actually a hard game, to be honest.
And game's already over. Oh, wow, and I have it at the end cutscene. Okay, so yeah, just quickly, so we have time for other games. Yeah, carry on. What else about Crystallis you wanted to mention?
There is a grinding aspect. You do actually get experience points. You level up, you collect money, and all that sort of stuff.
Dang, I just started another brand new one.
Like I said, it's...
Whatever.
It's a fun Zelda-like with a lot of RPG-like mechanics.
Yeah, a futuristic Zelda-like, which is where I was getting from my Tales of Fantasia.
Which is another good game we might talk about, but who knows?
If and when that happens.
Right.
Anyway, let's just move on.
To another showing.
Yeah, to another game that has an interesting story in recent years. We're going to be talking about Fire Emblem. Now, it's not saying the English title here, but I believe it's Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Oops. This is the first Fire Emblem game.
Yep.
And we never got this in the West until last year, I think. Well, no, it might have been released on like a 3DS or port or something like that. I don't think so. I think we
did not get this original version until the Switch release.
Yeah, not even a virtual console on the Wii. I don't think. I don't even think we got it on the Wii U.
It was planned for Wii U, from what I understand, but it just never happened.
Right. I believe this is a fan translation that I'm using on here.
I believe so.
Which is effectively people trying to recreate, if not emulate, what the Switch version was, which was a timed exclusive where you could only buy it digitally for a set amount of time. we could have an entire episode about preserving your history and how staunchly against I am of that practice. This has nothing to do with Fire Emblem as a series. This is just what Nintendo was doing.
Yeah, this is an aside,
because in a completely unrelated tangent, I'm not a huge fan of Fire Emblem.
Me
Granted,
neither.
I have only played, I haven't beaten, but only played one Fire Emblem game, outside of like dabbling in a couple others, like starting but not really getting far. And that was Fire Emblem Awakening. I was told that was a really great one. It was really retaining its value for a while after it came out. And
still is.
yeah, people really love that one. And personally, one of the worst games I've ever played in my life. And I'll get there when I get there, but just of that style of what it is, there's nothing wrong with like a chess-based strategy RPG. I think it's really interesting. I just really dislike what that particular game was doing. This one, just to go back to like what it's doing and establishing, which I find really admirable and interesting and a great starting point.
Right, right.
Yeah, actually, we'll see some Genesis games that do a really good iteration, if not better, of what Fire Emblem is.
Yeah, I'd argue better, but we'll talk about this, though. It's still a good game.
It is, yeah.
Right.
So you're effectively like, kind of like what we saw in Dragon Quest, creating like base stats for set characters. We can kind of see some on screen if you're watching this, kind of going by.
Yep.
And you manage these characters like your troops, and you kind of advance, sort of like Advance Wars, if we're going to jump much farther into the future. And you'll have like combat. You can once again you kind of like sneak up behind some characters, block them in, trying to figure out how you're going to manage your resources and go to the next points. And that's really interesting. And also, if characters die,
they're dead for good.
They are dead.
Ugh.
I don't like that.
No, that really does affect. I think you even mentioned at one point it affects the way the story plays out.
I'm not sure about this one. It definitely did in Awakening.
I mean, to make a better story.
Oh yeah. If you're just as in terms of my main gripe with it is not in terms of gameplay. If these were all like this one, just no name nothings, then yeah, it's an interesting challenge to try and get through the game. But if you're trying to tell a story like they clearly were in Awakening, then you have inherently ruined anything you could ever possibly write, because now at any point you need to write your story as if anyone could vanish
at any point,
and anyone could be in a relationship with any other person for no reason other than pleasing the weebs. So there's like you already have set yourself up to fail. You can't write a good story. So I already knew when I was starting this game, this story is going to be a disaster, because no matter how I play it, I'm gonna get some weird iteration of some greater narrative that never could be properly told, unless maybe I beat it on safety or something, whatever they call it, where no one can die.
Casual mode, yeah.
Which seems like I'm defeating the purpose of the game by doing that. So
right, and besides, if ever anyone dies in these games, because I played a couple of these myself, I have the DS remake of this game. Yeah. And I played Awakening, but I'm like, anytime they died, I'm just like,
you reset,
reload,
and it's like a long punishment for failure.
Yeah, because
and the gameplay is already really slow.
I don't feel like getting, I don't feel like it's fun having a gimped party as a result of an accidental death, because I didn't see, sudden reinforcements come in halfway through the battle. How was I gonna know that?
And even making a mechanic like what they do in Dragon Quest, where your character just follows you and they're like a little ghost, and you go back and heal them.
Right.
Even that would have been better. Like maybe just have a different iteration where like it's your choice to try and recover somebody. That way, if someone's really invested in a character or a different class, they're not punished and forced to start their entire game over because of one mistake. And it really could be as simple as one mistake, because as soon as the enemy gets the upper hand, or you didn't even know what was going to be happening, it's extraordinarily unfair.
But I will say, in defense of this game, that's not technically really the point. It's more like it's all... The story is a means to an end to get you into scenario after scenario.
Absolutely.
To go in and to challenge you from a tactical standpoint, which I really like.
And that's what's really interesting about this original one, especially like how they get like the animations and everything to play out, and like the top down. It does so many things really well for the NES. So I am actually a really big fan of like what it's doing and establishing for later stuff that other things will learn from. I don't think it learned from itself.
And for you Smash fans out there, this is Marth's debut.
It is, yes, this is Marth's debut. Yep. Marth was actually, because of this game, supposed to be in the original N64 Smash Brothers.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, there was also Mewtwo and Dedede and Bowser, I think, were all planned to be in the N64 one.
Okay.
Yeah. So, interesting. We're not talking about Smash, but that's a long ways out.
Oh, yeah. Not there yet, but...
No,
It's still a fun game. If you want a basic tactical game, you can't go wrong with the original Fire Emblem, I don't think.
Yeah. I would in fact recommend trying that one over some of the later ones because it's not too invested in trying to tell a story, and if anything, confusing even itself on what it wants to be.
Here we go.
Here we go. So we have just jumped consoles. We were on the NES predominantly, well, actually just for the last two. And we're jumping now over to the MSX. And this is the sequel to Metal Gear. And I need to preface that because there is another sequel to Metal Gear. It's non-canon. We won't talk about it. It's a thing. This is the actual story sequel made by Hideo Kojima.
Yep.
For the sequel to the original NES, Metal Gear. And this game is phenomenal.
Yep.
And it's such a shame that it's stuck on the MSX.
This intro is amazing.
It is. Actually, yeah, there's a lot of really cool... the intro, actually, I'm thinking of the one for the Game Boy is like 12 minutes long or something.
Yes,
It's a Game Boy. But anyway, yeah, the MSX, this intro is also really amazing.
Right, and this is for a very limited computer from back in 1990.
It is.
Yeah.
A real shame at the moment. If I'm going to play this as is with my NES controller that I am doing this with, I won't be able to get very far in this. I have other controllers where I have more buttons. Because it was using a computer, it was basically like every function key was a different menu.
Right.
So it could have worked on an NES controller, but there was so many ambitious things. Effectively, what makes this game so cool, and we should probably stop beating around the bush, is the fact that this is basically Metal Gear Solid in 2D.
Yeah.
And I mean like verbatim, the story and everything. There's interchangeable swap out the characters' names effectively.
Locations,
yeah, but there's a lot of scenes that are basically the same thing. Like Snake should have in Solid gone, this is really uncanny.
Right.
And the whole idea of like Metal Gear Solid 2, where, you know, they're basically doing Metal Gear Solid again.
Yeah.
That should have been, this is also really uncanny. Is this the thing? We just do the same story every time, and then 3 does it again, and 4 does its own thing. But we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Well, that'll be a while out there, won't it? But yeah, so this one, I mean, like, there's a scene where, no joke, like, you get into an elevator. Oh, the weight limit is going over. Huh? There's a bunch of invisible guys where are the invisibility things? Snake, they're in the elevator with you.
What?
Yeah, it's like verbatim, it's Metal Gear Solid. Now, effectively, I think Kojima tried making Metal Gear Solid as a more definitive version of this game because not a lot of people really got to experience this, and he knew that the PlayStation was going to be huge.
Well, and also, too, this was also released in the West, and this is like the first Metal Gear game Metal Gear Solid was the first Metal Gear game we got since
exactly.
those two NES games.
And it was an enormous leap.
Right.
Right, and this tactical espionage genre was largely unexplored for the West.
Yep.
And yeah, for everybody else who actually got to play this, just the gameplay top-down is miles better than the NES game as well.
Oh gosh, yeah. You can crouch and hide. That is the biggest thing for me.
You can do almost anything that you can do in Solid, you can do in this. You flip through all sorts of menus. You have like different like key cards, and you have the gas masks, and so many things that you can equip. Actually, you could do those in the NES as well, I think. Though it largely hindered your progress.
Oh yeah, because of the limitations.
Yeah, it was not good.
There it is.
But anyway, there's Metal Gear.
And for those of you who are watching, you can definitely really see the cinematic stylings of Kojima really starting to come into their own, just with that intro alone.
Oh yes.
I mean, that is pure 80s action movie opening.
Yeah.
If I ever saw one.
And if you have no access to a game like something you could play on the MSX, I would recommend trying to find like a YouTube video where you can watch the entire story play out.
Yeah.
Do that, and then if you really love it, then see what you can do about downloading a ROM, just some way you can play the game. I know I don't want to encourage people doing that because obviously it's illegal, but you cannot play this game.
The only other way I can think of is if you have a PS2 copy or the Legacy Collection of Metal Gear Solid 3, you could unlock the first 2 games in that.
This one?
Yeah, I believe so. That was an unlockable.
I had to look it up to make sure, and yes, Zach is correct. In the Metal Gear Solid Legacy Collection, if you specifically play Metal Gear Solid 3 HD Edition, then from that game you're able to boot Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. Now you know.
But still, though, there are ways to do it, and I would say give this one a shot. It's really good for the time.
I mean, we've been talking about it this long, and this intro cinematic is still going.
Yeah.
Like, this is...
We got more story.
Yes.
Which is retconned later, but
Yes. In weird ways, yeah.
Oilix? What is Oilix?
Yeah, Oilix. I mean, it sounded cool back then.
Yeah, but regardless, we should probably move on.
We should, as much as we both really love Metal Gear.
Oh, yeah.
But still, there's a lot of other games we want to talk about. And on this system, there's one more game I want to show you guys, and I think it actually came with this system here.
I believe it did.
Yes,
and
it did. I see it down here. Right, it was playing. Of course it comes with it. I'm going to let this one start from the beginning as well.
Yes.
We are looking at Star Tropics.
Star Tropics.
A native Nintendo game.
Right, not released in Japan, I believe, just in the United States.
Yeah, because they were not very subtly targeting the United States hard with this in a way that could border on racism.
Kinda.
Kinda.
Yeah.
I mean, what? It actually saved anyway, so
Yeah,
whatever. We'll just start wherever the heck I am. I mean, what is this? The island of Americola?
Yeah, Maricola.
And,
you are Mike Jones.
Mike Jones.
And your dad is Dr. Jones. And he gives you a letter in real life.
You fight with a yo-yo.
Like Short Round from...
Actually, I think I have a better position here.
Yeah,
Let's
you
do this.
There
So you saw it was like a top-down Zelda-like for a bit there. And you do go around and talk to people, and then it becomes this like dungeon crawler sort of.
It's like a Zelda dungeon crawler a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's such an interesting.
Right,
game.
and you get other weapons.
You can jump.
Get, like,
you can like puzzle your way around.
Right, and it's very exploration based and all that. This is a really fun game, and it's such a shame it came out so late in the game's life.
I know,
the
system's life. I mean, we just mentioned at the top of this, the Super Nintendo in Japan comes out this year.
Yeah.
So this is really like a consolation prize for them.
Yeah, you need to try those tiles, I think.
Yeah, I know one of them's a button.
There you go.
I played this game.
Yeah, on my recommendation, and did you like it?
It is great.
It is a really good game.
But yeah, it's another one of those forgotten titles, though. I don't think there's anyone that like drops a health potion or no. I don't need it anyway, I guess.
No, we're not going to be here that long.
No, but still, that's effectively Star Tropics. I mean, the big takeaway from this was just how weirdly targeting the United States it was.
And this would not be the last time Nintendo would do this either. Just have a game just released solely in the United States market because either A, we might not be smart enough for it, or B, hey, this is very American.
Thinking like Final Fantasy Mystic Quest.
Yeah.
That's just insulting to the Japanese, and then when we found out about it, insulting to us.
Yeah. We'll get into that.
Yeah, if we ever actually. I'm not sure, but still.
I don't want to make this one too long.
I know. One last thing I don't want to pass over about this. This is another Nintendo created and owned franchise that has just vanished.
Oh yeah.
Think about that.
I'd love to see a reboot of this.
Or Mike Jones in Super Smash Brothers. I think he was actually on your list of picks when we did our video about it.
About our potential DLC characters, yeah. All
right, left or right? I'm gonna go left.
Go left, yeah. Yeah, because he fights in such an interesting way.
It's a skull room. It's a trap.
Oh, no.
Oh, actually, could not dodge that.
But yeah, he was one of my picks because I like this game quite a bit, and just I would have thought it would have just been an interesting way to pay homage to like the history of Nintendo and just some good memories. That was basically my my reasoning. Is like good vibes.
Yeah, you need to have the good vibes and appreciate what it is. Otherwise, you're just going to be offended of how targeted you were and how blatantly racist the game can be at times. Of like, those stupid Americans. Let's make a game specifically for their.
And not only that, but the natives in this game.
Oh my god. Yeah.
It's one of those.
The more I think about it, it's more like, oh no.
It's a good game, but you have to realize it's of a time, I guess. Even though that time is like only 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh god, so much changes in 30 years.
Yeah, one of these was a secret button, and I'm losing where it was.
Yeah. But anything else you want to add to this one?
I guess not. Yeah, that's about the extent of. Hey, I'm already stuck anyway, so we might as well just save where we're at and do this magical thing where we. There we go, and we're back, and boom, we are now on the Super Nintendo for the first official time, because I think before we jumped on this in a previous video, but only to play something that was effectively like a PC port, right? It was Sims. I think it was Sims.
It was The Sims and Final Fight.
So now, Super Famicom, remember, technically Super Nintendo is next year, but this game technically releases in this, a beautiful launch title. Super Mario Brothers jumping onto the Super Nintendo, which probably has its own name just based on Super Mario Brothers alone. It's more than likely where they decided to take that. So this really could be like the one game like that really was meant to define this entire system.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't see the intro cinematic.
Aw.
It doesn't really matter. So basically, there is like an intro cinematic this time. You have a little bit of a story. So it's kind of like taking, in my opinion, I know you disagree with some of this, but at least I will say it.
That's fine.
It's learning so much from what the NES could do with Super Mario Bros. 3 and making it so much larger and grander in almost every way imaginable. The physics are better, the colors are better, it's so much more lively. The map, the way that you have like multiple exits that'll sprawl out into a larger, huge, like interconnected map, and like you figure out your own way to explore, it's just amazing.
Yeah, it is a very good game, and it's definitely a very good showcase for what the Super Famicom was able to do, especially given the fact that in other territories, the Sega Genesis was already out. Well, it was out everywhere, and it was kicking Nintendo's butt. And it was soon to get a lot better with a upcoming game later. But no, this game
as
was
most
like
consoles will.
Yeah, but what this showed was that Nintendo's like, we can still make good games. You guys like Mario, right? And we're like, yes, we do. we like Mario. And I think this is, and unsurprisingly, one of the best-selling games on the Super Famicom and Super Nintendo.
It might have been a bundle deal?
It was bundled in for a little while, yeah. Yeah, but do we want to talk about the main premise of this one real quick?
Sure! Yeah. Bowser kidnaps Princess Peach, go get her!
Yeah, only this time, he's also kidnapped the Yoshis of Dinosaur Island.
Because that was one of the things Miyamoto originally wanted to have in Super Mario Bros. 3, I believe.
Yes.
One of his big new innovations was he really wanted Mario to ride on a dinosaur. And this time, finally, with the power of the Super Nintendo, he was able to make that happen, and Yoshi is that dinosaur. And you start on Yoshi's Island. And I really love that you can, like, freely move just from world to world. You don't, like, how do I say this? Maybe my favorite thing about this versus Mario 3 is the fact that this game, sorry, I was like a little distracted, is more of an adventure platformer game because you're determining where you want to go, as opposed to Mario 3, which is still more of an arcade.
Yeah, because this one is a lot more open in the fact where you can actually search levels for secret exits and find new routes.
You could go back to previous worlds, because they're not worlds anymore. It's more of like segments of this enormous map.
Right.
And even here, like, you find like a secret path and you find a switch. Now every time I encounter these yellow dotted lines, I permanently will see a yellow block, which might give me a mushroom or a power-up that'll help me, or maybe get to like new secrets. And like you're always changing the world. I wish so badly we had new Mario games like this.
Yeah, I mean, we have the new Super Mario Brothers series, but it's not the same.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know, and it's not just, this is one of those instances where I gotta make sure people understand, this is in no way nostalgia bias. I am trying to explain that there's like straight up mechanics. Dang it, I shouldn't have done that.
Oh, you're fine.
There are mechanics in this game that oh dang it.
That's fine. But yeah,
are just not in any other Mario games.
Yeah. No, and it's a shame. Like, there are not a whole lot of Mario games that have the item switching mechanic. Like, not even a lot of these new Super Mario Brothers games, I don't think, do that. Like, as soon as you get hit, yeah, that's it, bucko. You just lost your power-up. Hope you didn't really like it. And it's like, and you get to keep your Yoshi too. Not all the 2D Mario games let you keep your Yoshi going forward, and it's just those weird choices. But no, and I agree with you. This is still a really good game, and I do like it for, like you said, it's. Hey, there you go. Like, it's exploration, where, like you said, Super Mario Bros. 3 is more of a arcade where it's more obstacle courses just to get through, with slight variations in each map, depending on where you want to go and what challenge you feel like putting up with.
Oh, see right there, like, that was a pit until I found that, Oh, I guess Yoshi can't eat the moles?
He can, but you can eat while ducking.
I guess I just missed.
Yeah. There you go.
That didn't make any sense. I ate the dirt
with him.
I'm pretty sure if you get every, Oh, here, another little secret. You can dodge the charge and chuck.
Yep.
Run up here with Yoshi, and get the highest score.
There you go.
There. I've played this game so many times. This is one of my favorite games ever.
I know.
Yeah, I mostly played the Game Boy Advanced version. Was actually the first way that I played this. It was effectively a port, except they added Luigi. There's really not much. They did a few minor other tweaks to it, but that was effectively all they did.
Yeah.
And I just loved it. It effectively, like, you know, I also loved if you find every single exit in the game, you will unlock a new iteration of like an effect on the map where everything becomes autumn.
Yep.
And every level is changed to now it's autumn, and all of the Koopa Troopas will now have these big Mario heads, and they have like different hats based on what color of shell that they were before. There's just so much to love in this.
My favorite is the piranha plants turning into pumpkins with
Yes. Yeah, oh my god, missed opportunity for piranha plant alts in Smash Brothers.
Oh no.
That would have, I'm just now thinking of that. That was perfect. Granted, there's a million piranha plants out there.
Yeah, right. But still.
My god, just so much that they could have done. I absolutely love this game.
It is a very good game.
Probably about it for Super Mario World. I mean, we've already kind of spoken about Super Mario 3 and Super Mario Brothers and what makes it so good, and I just kind of feel like this is it hitting the pinnacle in what it was trying to do before. However, I still kind of feel like some later ones, not even in the physics department, can do this better. Because I'm really happy with how heavy you feel and how fast you can move, and the later ones just don't seem to do that anymore. Maybe that's why I still think this is my favorite 2D Mario game.
Yeah, I can at least get behind you on that. He feels really good to control in this one.
Yeah, and aside from that, there's like other weird stipulations like that Star, I believe it was checking like, did you get like 100 coins before this point? And there's another later, there's a stage in I think the Choco Mountain where if you don't get like a certain amount of points before getting to the pipe at the end, you loop. So there's, it's odd, but I feel like it's figuring out the weird unfair odd from Mario 3. Some of the later stages in that are just unfair. And this are rarely like that. Like the weirdest ones are like Forest of Illusion, where you just need to find the weird way out of the stage, as opposed to just run to the right and beat it, which I find is so cool, so creative. I love the mini bosses. I love how you can like see where you're at in the overworld and it's changing everything. The environments, the music, everything. Mwah! It's one of the best games ever made.
Chef kiss.
Yes.
That's
However,
fair.
I know you're not as... maybe you just like Mario 3 more?
Yeah, I'm probably, and it's been a while since I've touched World, regardless. I've replayed Super Mario Bros. 3 a little bit more recently than World, so yeah. But anyway, this is a really weird one, because this game just, this year, suddenly came back out of nowhere. Out of freaking nowhere!
That was so cool!
I wouldn't have guessed this in a million years.
Yeah, I was probably one of the 3 people who were watching that live stream and like watching the intro with the pixels. I was like, this is ActRaiser!
Yeah, no,
like this. It was this.
I was right there with you, my dude.
This is ActRaiser!
Like,
why are you showing ActRaiser? But yeah, this recently just got, it was a remake.
Yeah, it's a definite remake, yeah. Because there's like a whole new intro to that one, and it's a little bit more tutorialized, and there's a few additional mechanics.
Right.
I still think that this is still worth going back to, especially given if you're not sold on the new graphic style. Oh wow, they just throw you in.
Wow, I thought it was going to be an intro video, but no, that was gameplay.
Gotta go. Get going.
So one thing you'll see here is you're like, okay, it's an action platformer, right?
Right.
And that's basic enough. We've seen games like this, especially on the Sega Genesis, like the low frames of animation. You're probably already like, this just looks like a generic Sega Genesis game, but if you give it a minute, if I'm actually able to, and
you can.
I don't have that much faith in myself. If I actually, I'm not very good at this game. If I actually beat the boss, oh god.
just run.
Right through him. Yeah.
Oh no, you've got to actually kill the head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
anyway, if you actually like beat the platforming levels, you basically start playing a weird Sims-like game where you're an Cupid.
Angel.
Yeah, like an angel Cupid, and you're effectively managing your believers and
tending to their needs.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Right.
And like you will then progress and find more levels to fight for the platformer segments.
Yep.
And that's the game.
Because the whole point of the game is you're supposed to stop, I guess, like these primordial evils.
Mm-hmm. Oh shoot,
yeah, you need him.
Yeah.
He carries you across. But yeah,
let's just try to get to that.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, you got a good spell, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, there's like a.
You're supposed to basically.
Here's the boss.
Yeah, you're supposed to be God. Stick to the left side.
Mm-hmm.
Because he can't pierce you on the left side. Yeah.
Oh really? Like this?
Yeah. But you've got to go up to him and still hit him. Yeah. And then he's only got his lightning attack besides. Yeah.
Oh god, there's a magic. I forget how to cast the magic. That's what I should have done.
That's okay.
How is it? Maybe it's Y. Whoa, I'm way back here. Okay,
yeah,
but yeah, it's
checkpointed. Yeah.
At least there was a checkpoint because the game is very challenging.
Yeah.
That's why I said I'm not so far in this.
This is from Quintet, who would go on to make some really deep and really philosophical and religious focused games later on. I would say I like the later games a little bit better, but just as terms on its own terms as being this weird genre mashup and with the themes and stuff, it's really impressive. Honestly,
there it is.
And oh wow, it
nice.
Did not do that.
It did something.
It did something. Duck.
I just want. Oh right, because he can't still get me there.
Yeah, he just can't walk right into that.
Okay.
Yeah. Because he's got to have room for his spear.
I will finally beat the first boss of ActRaiser.
Oh, you can do it. But anyway, yeah, Quintet. We might talk about some of the other games, but they're also known for stuff like Soul Blazer, Illusion of Gaia, Terranigma.
Yeah, there is a sequel to ActRaiser on the Super Nintendo as well. You might have seen it on my. Ooh, I'm so close.
There you go. But yeah, it's ActRaiser 2. There you go.
Good. Now I can finally show you this.
Huh. But ActRaiser 2 focuses more on. Oh wait, no, you've got another act.
Oh, you're right.
Never mind. But it focuses more on the platforming aspect, which I think kind of makes it a bit of a lesser game.
Regardless, oh no, I actually did get farther than this.
I got farther than this.
Oh, did you?
That was me.
That was oh, fine. I'm gonna erase yours. Then I'll at least say that I did that. Anyway, yeah, there is a sequel that they have coming later, but still,
it's really cool.
Yeah,
not a lot of games really focused a lot on religious themes back then, but Nintendo was weird about that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's more of a mythology than anything. So
still good.
You're kidding me. I had to put this on. Oh my god, I did.
Oh,
okay,
wow.
so this next game we're gonna cover, I thought for sure this had to show up on the Super Nintendo Classic.
Had to have.
But no. For sure. It's one of the biggest launch titles that came on the Super Nintendo. Nope. It's not even there. Pilot Wings!
Pilot Wings!
For those of you who are just the younger generation or maybe just familiar with Smash Brothers, there is a stage dedicated to Pilot Wings. And they did make, I think, an N64 game.
They did. It was another launch title with Super Mario 64. And we kind of got it in a sort of spiritual sequel in Wii Sports Resort, because you can't fly around in that.
That's true. That's true.
But yeah,
effectively, this is it, and this is really the one that people remember.
Yeah.
And it's basically just a
tech demo the game.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing.
No. I remember playing maybe a PC game that was basically a Pilot Wings knockoff, because I know I didn't play this on Super Nintendo, but I know I played a game that was just like this. Quite a lot, and I think I played it on PC. It was all about the parachuting segments where you're trying to land on a platform. Maybe there's it shows you before you start, there's wind going this direction. It's that strong. You got to choose when you want to deploy your parachute, which could obviously make you fall too far.
That sounds really familiar, but I can't pin it down.
But that is a large part of Pilot Wings as well. There's a mini game where you do that, I think.
Yeah.
But also you're trying to fly a plane, and I'm gonna start here and try and showcase some of this, though it's been a long time since I remembered it, so I might crash or do horribly.
You can do it.
Oh, here, what did I just start twice? There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so, yeah,
you gotta land this puppy.
So you have to, like, tap the D-pad in order to move the nose of your plane, which I am controlling.
And it is very much plane control.
Yeah, you
down
also...
is up is down.
Exactly. You're moving like you're trying to dip into it. So I'm gonna go a little bit lower to like try and get into the green dots because they're trying to help me here.
Yeah, and the bar on the right tells you how far you are from the ground. Red means no, you will crash.
You're gonna die.
You're gonna die.
Pull up.
Yeah, you gotta pull up and you can slow down a little bit too.
Just effective. Oh, I forgot how to do that.
And this is the game that basically made Mode 7 a name for itself.
I was pulling back. I don't know why I did that.
Did you make it to the runway?
I'm on the runway!
But this is basically one of the games.
I love how he was so pissed at you.
It was pretty tough, wasn't it? You jerk.
How do you think my job is? Now quit complaining and shut up and eat your damn peanuts. Anyway.
But yeah, this is one that really showed off the Mode 7 capabilities of the Super Nintendo. That's what this was.
Exactly, and that's what was so impressive about this, because you gotta think, like, back in the day, the closest thing you had to this was Top Gun on the NES. Which functioned.
Yeah, it functioned.
I mean...
I'm not the biggest fan, to put it that one way.
Neither am I. I mean, there's a reason that AVGN covered it very early in his career. It's not a great game. However, like, I mean, it really laid the groundwork for what Pilot Wings would become, because the technology just wasn't there at the time. They were trying something really ambitious. And now, like, they can actually do the that 3D-esque, like, plane of scaling.
Right.
And it's not just, like, you know, perpetually you're flying into a background that doesn't come closer to you. You're actually, like, you saw when you're actually moving closer. It looks like an arcade game.
Right, exactly, yeah.
It's really impressive. Yeah, it can also get really tough. I'm gonna try one more time while...
Yeah, because the whole point of the game is you're supposed to be, like, getting, like, your pilot's license, but...
Oh, I should have done skydiving instead.
That's fine, we can try it again.
Oh, can I back up, or complete lesson under 45 seconds? Or...
No, you're stuck on a one-way course.
I guess I'm screwed. Yep. All right. So, oh, I should have read. Was A speed up and B speed down?
Yes, it was.
Yep. That's what I did. I sped up and I nosedived into the ground. I was trying to brake.
Oh. Well, the laws of aerodynamics are at play, so I mean...
I know, that's another thing. Like, figure out how you want the physics of this game to function?
I don't even know how you would program the math to do that.
Exactly, because it's all math. You really can't do physics in games like this. Like, there's so little space on these engines. Oh my god.
Right.
Hold on. Slow down. Slow this puppy down. Coming in hot.
Come on.
We're coming in hot!
Oh no. Oh, you did it!
Oh, snap!
Keep holding B, slow down.
Ooh.
You did it! Landing okay!
I beat the tutorial of Pilot Wings! We're so shocked. Oh, great! Man, he had no faith in me.
You just put him out of a job.
He had absolutely zero faith in me. Wow. Anyway, there is one more game we want to cover. Another very famous start to the Super Nintendo. We might as well, just so I can go back and mess around with that, because it is a really fun game to mess around with.
Exactly.
I think so. I mean, like, there's better things on the Super Nintendo. Super Nintendo, in my opinion, is one of the greatest consoles ever.
Yeah.
So, a tech demo of when it first came out, of course, it's not the greatest thing, but you want to know another tech demo that is definitely going to be one that they gave us on this, and if it's not, I'm going to have to hit somebody, and you're the only person in reach, so you better hope that we're gonna see some F-Zero on here. Yes.
Tell me when. Okay, phew, I can come back.
Yes. F-Zero. This is a really good game.
This is a really good game.
This is a really good game.
Oh, man.
Which car do you typically...
I usually go with Captain Falcon at the top, yeah.
I tended to do as well. I think I've seen a lot of people go with this purple one.
Oh, Samurai Goro.
Yeah, Samurai Goro. I think it's because, like, if you're trying to speedrun the game, this is just the best one, because it'll have the highest max speed.
Yep.
His acceleration, but that's assuming you're that good. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Am I a beginner?
Yeah, you're a beginner at the Night League.
Why not? Whatever. Just so that I can talk while I'm playing a game.
Yep. And
it's also reverse Mario Kart. I think, like, B is go. Yeah, B is go, and then A is your brake.
And L and R help you to lean hard,
Right. One thing that's I had issues with this game. Oh, his handling's very good. This actually feels a little better than the Captain Falcon car. I'm used to riding that one.
Right.
But yeah, like you see how like I can, I'll bank on a corner and you'll see this when I come up here.
Yep. Like
where
right here.
skid, you can actually like hit the side of your vehicle on the side of the ground.
Right.
What's really important about this is not just the simple racer Mario Kart with no powers. You also have, items. You have a power meter that you need to maintain because you are screaming across these courses.
Yeah, at 380. Yeah,
right. You see
clicks an hour,
the textures below us is supposed to be a city deep below us.
Yep.
And what I think is a real shame about Smash Brothers just come up 3 times in this video. I really loved Melee's Mute City stage because it turned this, what we're playing right now, into a fully 3D stage, and it was so cool. And now we just have the Super Nintendo looking version of it, which is okay, but it destroys what I think this was trying to accomplish. Like, it's trying to give you an illusion that there's cities below you, and you are like miles above them, ripping around.
Yeah, no, this is supposed to be like a huge megalopolis.
Right, like crazy future where you're actually, bounty hunters racing on, like, I don't know if it was like some TV show. Maybe I'm like mixing with an anime in my head.
A lot of the lore came later because when when they put this in, they're just like, just race around in hover cars, have fun.
Yeah, right.
But later on, they add a lot of lore. We learn more about who Captain Falcon is and who all the other people are. But in this, I mean, it's like they're just basically, again, a means to an end just to get you to go racing. And the thing I really like about this, and a little programming secret that I found out about this, is that you're not really moving forward. The game's moving around you.
The game's moving towards you. That's really cool. Because what's interesting is also you're noticing I am in first place, but I keep lapping people.
Yep.
It also will keep generating other racers, and some of them are flashing like they're bombs, and they're really just there to damage you.
Yeah.
And keep, like, whoever's in first from getting too close. Also, if you saw that if I goes too close to the edge, I would spark. You will take rapid damage if you drive off the course, and especially if you go headlong into the side. The other courses, obviously, later will get much more treacherous. And by turning up the difficulty, which was the classes, not the Knight League, King Leagues, Queen League, or I think that's what they're called.
Yeah.
That was actually just straight difficulty. Now you can actually see a better shot of that texture below.
Yeah, there's streets.
Yeah, you can see the streets, the cities, the lights.
Yeah.
It's really, really incredible. It's when you choose Knight League and all that, you're choosing different sets of courses, kind of like Mario's Flower Cup and Star Cup.
I wonder what the property value is in that last stage.
I don't know. There's also a Big Blue that they did in Smash Brothers as well.
Melee, yeah, because that was a stage in the adventure mode, I remember.
You could also unlock it as a regular fighting stage too. But anyway, I have a really funny relationship with this game too, because this was, now Zach, I know you've probably heard that I used to do these YouTube videos a long time ago called Ocarina Hero.
Oh wow! Yeah, no, you told me.
The Ocarina Hero stuff. This was my last episode.
Oh wow!
And unintentionally, I die in that episode. Like, Ocarina Hero is dead, and and it kind of weirdly worked out because that was the last one I did.
Well, see ya.
I know I never planned for that. I was actually trying to make it like the new norm, but story for another time. Stuff in my life happened. I just couldn't keep doing it. I just took a long break, and I came back as HamsterBomb. And kind of just wanted a new start, long story short. But anyway, the thing is, my review of this, what I know I'm gonna do again whenever I get around to doing this and playing with myself, the joke was, I'm gonna have because normally I would just review games, similar to playing with myself, but a lot less involved, more of these were done in 2007.
Right.
So I'm just filming the screen with a really old webcam and making stupid jokes.
That's how you did it, though.
But yeah, that's all it was. But anyway, the joke of this one was, instead of actually talking about the game, I play it for maybe 30 seconds, and I get really nauseous, and the screen blows up and I die. And that's the very beginning. And the entirety of this 12-minute video, I think, is it's like this acid trip. of me like in like I like try and find a way to come back to life. I talk to like the ghost of C-3PO. I get the help of like an evil parrot Easter chick. We have a Pokemon battle. Morgan Freeman from Bruce Almighty, playing God from Bruce Almighty, is God, the real one, who is there to grant my wish, and I don't want to come back to life. I want to be a cartoon character.
Are you sure you actually weren't on acid when you were making that?
And the best part is there is no mention of F-Zero. It's like in the very beginning, and I just never do it again. And I feel like it's one of the most brilliantly stupid things I've ever done.
Yeah, you were on acid at that point.
And I know whenever I get around to actually reviewing F-Zero, inevitably I will do it again. It will probably be like one of my April Fool's joke videos. Yeah, because I already know what I'm doing for this next year.
Good.
It's equally stupid. It's not like the last two where it was basically like a fake out. It's gonna be a full review, and that's what I thought was so fun about this. It's like, I did a full review of it, like lengthwise, the video lengthwise, like someone clicks on it thinking like, okay, it's another one of his reviews, but it's gonna be on F-Zero.
Right.
And like, I don't talk about the game at all.
I mean, that's one way to do it.
Yeah, here we go. Here's some much tougher turns, and you really do have to pay attention to that handling thing. Yeah, this car is way better than what I was used to.
Yeah, right.
Because I'm like not hitting the walls at all unless someone hits me. Like
Right.
that, of course.
But yeah, you're not just slip sliding everywhere, right?
Yeah, Captain Falcon, I thought was like the way to go because it's your top choice. It's the first one. But I'm not even letting go of Accelerate. And that was the thing that was really important about this racer versus like Mario Kart. Mario Kart, I honestly feel like the gas shouldn't even be a button because you never let go of it.
Right.
In F-Zero, it's you're managing what feels like physics, but really it's just intense math.
Yeah, because you're supposed to feel like one of those little hockey pucks on one of those air hockey tables.
It really does feel like that. I mean, you can see me bouncing around the walls if you're watching this. Though another thing that was really wild, I don't think I had played it at the time N64 Smash Brothers, now for the 4th time in this video.
Okay.
When Captain Falcon was the player in it, and nobody I knew in person had any idea who he was.
I didn't.
No.
It's just like,
they just said, oh, that's Captain Falcon. Okay, well, what's Captain Falcon from? What do you mean? Well, Yoshi, I know Yoshi, I know Mario, I know
Samus.
I know Pikachu, I know Kirby. Who's Captain Falcon? And then the joke always turned to, yeah, well, who's this little boy with psychic powers? As if that made it better.
That's just sad.
I know, but that they're in the same boat. Well, unfortunately different. Because I mean, let's just say Star Fox to compare to Captain Falcon. At the very least, Star Fox was on the N64 and was I want to say a much more popular game than Earthbound. More people knew about Star Fox than Earthbound. And because of that, more people were just inclined to just so, oh yeah, he's from this game, I know that.
Right.
But Earthbound did not have a great marketing campaign. It blossomed later with a cult following. We'll get to that game when we get to it, I guess. But Captain Falcon, you don't even know what he looks like.
Except
I'm not hiding anything, and all those moves are made up. It's like a joke character, and I think it really was the first joke character he added. Because what would you do?
Well, so I know that there was like in the instruction manual there was a literal comic book.
Yeah.
That actually showed you what he looked like.
Yes, if you actually had it.
A day in the life of Metro City or Mute City or whatever this place is called, and it's like, but yeah, that's not enough to build character.
No.
There was the N64 sequel, but again, I don't think it really added that much more.
No. I've watched the cutscenes of that online.
Oh, the GameCube or the N64
the GameCube. I'm sorry. I'm mixing them up, but it's hilarious.
It is so good.
I'm doing so bad. I gotta at least pass Falcon. No.
Oh, come on, Samurai. You can do this.
No.
But
best car if you don't suck, I guess.
But yeah, I don't really have much more to say about this. I'd say give it a shot. It's a very simple racer.
Oh right, you have boosts. I totally forgot you have boosts.
And you won those.
I just use it I won, or at least got the 3rd in front of him by using my boosts. I forgot you have 3 boosts.
Well, no, you have as much boost as your power bar lets you. Because you have that
do
power
you?
bar. Yeah. I don't know.
The power bar was different. Power bars are like your health.
Yeah.
If that depletes all the way, you will just blow up and you have to start the race over. Also, if you hit a jump and you land off the track, you blow up, race is over. So it's not like Lakitu can pull you back. You have blown up, the race is over.
Yeah.
It's a little harder than that, I guess, but still, I have a lot of fun with this, though it does still, with my original Ocarina Hero joke, it gets me really nauseous really quickly, but that's just a me problem. I can't really play first-person shooters anymore, or any first-person games, because they just get me so nauseous.
Which is a shame.
I know, I'm missing out on so much. Like, I want to play Doom. I want to play Fallout.
Yeah.
I want to play the rest of BioShock, and it keeps getting me sick. I managed to just, like, fight through it, but I just can't.
I'm glad you at least got through BioShock.
Yeah, and Infinite.
And
Infinite. So I'm trying to get through two, but like I don't know, maybe as I'm getting older it's getting worse and worse, but it hurts my head so bad. But yeah, it's just a weakness of mine. But that is all the games we want to talk about. So how about I do one more round of this, or would you like to play a little F-Zero?
I'll take a little F-Zero.
Sure. While you do that, what would you say is your game of the year? If you need me to remind you what it is, I can tell you. It's in our notes.
Let's see. B is go, right?
B is go.
Yeah, B is go.
Remember your shoulder buttons, and A is going to be your boost.
Okay.
Which, yeah, you don't have any right now. Maybe you're right. You have to charge them up.
Maybe.
I don't remember, but I know you can have, like, it's in the bottom right corner. That's what those little S's. That's your boost.
I can tell you what my favorite game to come back to from the ones we talked about.
Sure. We'll see if it's the one in our notes.
East 1 and 2.
Yes, that's what you wrote down.
Yes. I don't know. It's a really fun game. It's very action oriented. It's very arcadey. I am not doing very well. And
are you trying to? Yeah. Are you trying to turn with the? Oh, is this the one with the wind?
I think so.
That's why you're feeling weird. Okay, so this one has like a wind effect. I think it's like blowing. That's why the entire map is just like a loop. Because you're trying to deal with the wind. If you can fight the wind and you get used to the right angle, then you're set. You're actually in second. You're doing okay.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. But
I think there's magnets too. Maybe that's a later stage. There's also magnets that can pull you into the bumpers.
Whoa! I can do this.
If you go full speed into the wall, you will die.
Right. Anyway,
rank number 1. All right, ease.
Yeah, ease. It tells a really fun story. It might not be anything special nowadays, but considering when it came out originally and what we got from it, I had a lot of fun with it. I first experienced it on the Wii. One of my friends got it when the Wii Shop was still a thing.
Like a remake or the Virtual Console?
No, the Virtual Console.
I see.
Yeah, so that's how I first got it.
Yeah, careful.
But
is that Samus?
Yes.
Please, just
Shut up.
Yeah.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Hey, I got to talk about Metroid this episode.
Yeah, but what's your favorite game to come back to from what we talked about?
So what I would say is like my game of this year is Super Mario World.
I figured.
I adore that game so much. Back when I was playing my Game Boy Advance was up in the air like between it and A Link to the Past, determining, and Yoshi's Island to an extent, what is my favorite game ever.
Right.
At the time. And it's funny that I was really deciding between 3 Super Nintendo games, and at the time I didn't realize that. I just knew that, I plugged them into my Game Boy Advance, and that's the way I played them.
Yeah.
But the best ones I played were all, from the Super Nintendo.
Right.
I did really love some Game Boy Advance games when we get there, like Mario Kart Super Circuit, I adored.
Yeah.
We'll get there. I feel like we gotta talk about that game. That's probably like the most underrated Mario Kart.
Second.
You did better than my my other run. But yeah, Super Mario World, for all the reasons I said before, I still think it's the best 2D Mario game. I really want so badly that they would make maybe if I get to do a full review, I'll get to talk about because I mentioned before, there's a lot of mechanics that they just kind of abandoned in Mario, and I feel like those were the best parts of what made World so fun.
Yeah, because we were talking about it earlier, where
just casually we'll play New Super Mario Brothers together, and I hope I'm not annoying doing it, because I will keep going man, I wish you could do this thing like you did in Super Mario World. This was so much better in Super Mario World.
And I wholeheartedly agree with you. Super Mario World feels so good to control that, to play,
Yeah.
Gosh,
It's the controls that feel great. You gotta fill up when you can.
Yeah, I know. There we go. Let's see. Anything else?
Yeah, that's definitely my game of the year. Though, I gotta say, the Super Nintendo is probably gonna start stealing my Game of the Years and most influentials from like here on
Yeah.
until we hit like.
Speaking of,
It's gonna be a while.
Speaking of most influential,
Yeah, speaking of, what is your
Whoa!
most influential?
I did it.
Air hockey?
Air hockey. Oh man, let me tell you about air hockey.
Yeah, air hockey.
It was The Secret of Monkey Island.
Yes.
Not only for the way that it
Get that help.
I know, I'm trying. Not only for the way it told its story and that it was such a humorous game, but it really helped to shape, like I said, video game storytelling in general. Let's go.
Those are mines.
I did it.
Kind of.
I don't care.
Gotta watch that power level.
And also the fact that, it birthed the genre, and it also really helped.
It was also kind of the end of a genre, unfortunatally.
The beginning of the end of the genre, yeah. That's the unfortunate
Very careful.
part. I know, this is...
Yeah, that
this
is
game's
really...
hard.
Yeah, this game is really hard, and people, God, they play this so freaking fast. Two
but-
laps left. Oh, man, are you gonna make it?
Probably not.
You're gonna make it? How about this? Oh, before it all goes down,
Yeah.
my influential is Metal Gear 2. And it's just because of, I want to say Metal Gear on the NES, the first one, kind of redefined what an action game could be. It's not about the shooting, it's about the stealth now.
Yeah.
And Metal Gear 2 was the one that basically said, boom, you lost.
I got greedy with the boost.
I was hoping I'd be able to finish before you blew up. But Metal Gear 2 was the one that figured out how do you turn that into a really interesting game.
Right.
And you do it by like telling a really deep story and like take the player for a ride because you know what they have to do and what they're trying to do. You can build tension. It's almost in that way kind of like a Hitchcock film, but in video game form.
Right.
It's very much story based, but you're kind of playing your own part as a character. And I think that's what Metal Gear later does really well too, like with the Solid series, 1 through 3 for sure, where you feel like you're a part of this story and you're not just like exploring what the gameplay can do. And the gameplay sure is a step better, definitely better than the NES one, but
Yeah.
it's everything else that made this so much better and almost made serious storytelling about serious topics mainstream-ish enough.
Yeah.
I mean, MSX didn't help. If this was on Super Nintendo, then it'd be a lot better.
Right.
But still, it made it mainstream enough that I think making more adult video game stories, you know what I mean by adult.
Yeah.
Mature, more
I
mature.
guess. Yeah.
That's also not a great... You know what I'm trying to say.
Sophistication,
Sure.
I guess.
Anyway, it made it like much more feasible.
Yeah.
Like showing like you can really do it well, and then of course it will be influential enough to make Metal Gear Solid happen and that whole franchise happen. Because were it not for that sequel figuring that out, I feel like this would have fizzled out. Because the first game is not really great. It's not really fun at all. It's
got its
a good
moments.
idea, and it
Yeah.
has some good ideas, but yeah, other than that, it's kind of a mess. But anyway, yikes! This is a big year.
Yeah, for real.
And the years are about to start getting a lot bigger with a lot of really cool, crazy things coming soon.
And the years don't stop coming.
They don't stop coming, which is awesome. More content for us.
Yeah.
And more games for us. Hopefully you found something cool that you can check out and play in here. But either way, that is all we have for this episode. Thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of HITBOX. If you enjoyed the show, you can help us keep it alive by supporting us on Patreon with the links in the show notes and this video's description. For those of you on YouTube, remember to like the video and subscribe for more, and be sure to let us know what you thought of the show and what other topics you'd like to hear us cover in the future. And special thanks to all of our amazing Patreon members.
See you.